And if the feds flip her testimony, the entire Kardashian empire could collapse overnight. We're not talking about bad PR or canceled sponsorships. We're talking about sealed indictments, immunity deals, and a family scrambling to rewrite history before the courts do it for them. This isn't speculation. It's happening right now.
Never mind.
I really do feel this way. This Kim Kardashian,
Derek,
devoted her life to something, but it certainly wasn't the pursuit of academic excellence. She didn't even go to college, Harvey.
We are going to.
Court documents obtained last week reveal Kim's name surfaced in Diddy's indictment under sealed testimony. And if you think this is just about bad optics, think again. Legal experts say her cooperation isn't voluntary. It's a last-ditch deal to avoid her own arrest. Let's rewind 72 hours. On November 29th, federal prosecutors quietly unsealed a motion referencing an unnamed high-profile female associate of Diddy who provided critical evidence in exchange for immunity. That same day, Kim's team scrubbed her Instagram of every photo with Diddy, even the ones from 2019 where she called his gatherings epic. Coincidence? Not when you factor in the raid on her Calabasas home last month, where agents allegedly seized a safe containing digital media tied to Diddy's freak-off events.
I'm sorry, I'm just I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck. During those years, you're still stuck 21 years later.
This is the woman who built a billion-dollar brand on family-friendly image deals with Disney and S-Chems. Yet here she is, reportedly bargaining with prosecutors over footage so damning, insiders say it could end careers beyond Diddy's. What's on those tapes? And why is Kim the only Kardashian cutting a deal? The answers may lie in the timing. Her brain aneurysm diagnosis, conveniently announced the same week Diddy's lawyer subpoenaed her medical records, was framed as stress-induced. But court leaks suggest prosecutors believe it's a stall tactic, buying time while her legal team negotiates a plea that keeps her out of orange jumpsuits. But here's where it gets worse. Remember Khloe's 2014 confession about Diddy's naked parties? The ones where she name-dropped Justin Bieber as a guest? Legal filings now suggest those weren't just wild nights. They were allegedly recruitment hubs. And Kim wasn't just there, she was reportedly hosting. Multiple sources claim she introduced underage talent to Diddy's inner circle, including a then 19-year-old Bieber. If that's true, her FBI cooperation isn't just about saving herself, it's about burying evidence before Bieber's team flips on her.
I think we're out of time. I was going to ask nothing more to say about what people said about your father, your biological father.
And let's talk about the money. Kris Jenner suddenly liquidated $12 million in real estate last week. Kanye West lawyers are demanding emergency custody of Northwest. And Kim's own medical records, subpoenaed by Diddy's defense, now sit in a federal evidence locker. This isn't a scandal, it's a collapse. The question isn't whether Kim was involved, it's how deep the involvement goes and who else in that family knew. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the cracks are showing. Kanye West's latest rant, where he named LeBron James, Jay-Z, and Beyoncé as controlled celebrities, wasn't just a meltdown, it was a warning. Sources close to Ye claim he's been compiling evidence for months, including texts between Kim and Diddy's team discussing private encounters at his LA mansion. And if you think this is just Ye being Ye, consider this. His legal team just filed a motion to depose Kim under oath about her role in Diddy's circle. The hearing is set for January 15th.
So he put his hands on females, put his hands on producers, executives. That's just his. I guess that's what the whole name Bad Boy comes from. That people don't really understand. What is it? What is a bad boy? Why did he choose that name? He never really gave a clear definition of how he feels about that name. Not yet.
But the most damning detail might be what's missing. Kim Kardashian's Season 7 trailer for the Kardashians promises unforgettable moments and deeply personal challenges. Yet, not a single frame shows Diddy, Justin Bieber, or any reference to the parties that defined their social scene for years. That's not editing, that's damage control. And it isn't working. Because while Kim's team scrubs her past, the FBI is building a case that could rewrite her future.
And what's really going to be interesting is the parade of celebrities who we expect to be mentioned and or called into that courtroom. You know, people who we hadn't heard about prior, like Mike Myers, you know, Austin Powers, Mike Myers. Why is he getting called? Why is he on the witness list? That'll be fascinating. And then, of course, there are the no-name, quote unquote, women who are going to have to find every ounce of courage they have.
Now, let's connect the dots. Khloe Kardashian's 2014 party recap, where she casually mentioned Bieber and said half the people there were naked, wasn't just oversharing. It was a confession. And Kim's silence since then speaks volumes. Why did she unfollow Diddy the day before his homes were raided? Why did her lawyers file an emergency motion to block Ye from discussing their daughter's exposure to adult environments? And why, in the middle of all this, did she let North West spend her birthday with Kai Cenat, a streamer who publicly clashed with Ye over inappropriate content? The answers might lie in the timing of Kim's aneurysm diagnosis. Doctors called it stress-related, but insiders say the real trigger was a subpoena for her phone records, specifically messages from 2014 to 2016, the peak of Diddy's freak-off era. And if you think this is just about Kim, think again. Kris Jenner's sudden real estate sell-off? Kylie Jenner's team quietly distancing her from old Diddy party photos? This is a family in survival mode.
Timeline is crazy, man.
I know. So many things coming at one time. Now, R. Kelly is...
But here's the twist. No one's talking about the fact that Kim's cooperation deal isn't just about Diddy. It's about the others. The names we haven't heard yet. The ones who attended those parties, who signed NDAs, who boarded the private jets and never asked questions. Because if Kim is flipping, she's not just naming Diddy, she's naming everyone. And that's why Ye's custody fight isn't about parenting, it's about protection. Because if North West ever testifies about what she saw at those parties, the Kardashian brand doesn't just take a hit, it ceases to exist. And then there's the Bieber factor. Justin Bieber's team has been eerily silent since the indictment dropped. But sources say his lawyers are already in talks with prosecutors, offering context about his time in Diddy's circle. Context that allegedly includes Kim's role as a liaison. If Bieber turns state's witness, Kim's immunity deal becomes worthless. And that's when the dominoes fall.
It's probably leaning towards guilt. Now, on the racketeering, I agree with you that the predicate acts may be found, but that's not all they need. There's an ultimate question. The first question on the jury verdict form is, do you find him guilty or not guilty of racketeering? Before you even get to the predicate acts, which you only get to if you find guilt, they could just be hung up on that question and say, this guy's not Tony Soprano. I am not convinced that I even want to find guilt on the act.
So let's recap what we know. Kim is cooperating. Kris is selling assets. Ye is lawyering up. And somewhere in a federal evidence locker, there's a safe full of footage that could bring everything down. The only question left is this. When the FBI flips Kim's testimony, who is she throwing under the bus? Because the feds don't offer immunity for free. And the answer might explain why last night, Kim's security detail doubled outside her Hidden Hills compound. Because in Hollywood, when the walls close in, the first rule is simple. Protect the brand at all costs, even if that means sacrificing your own.
Let's get into this Yeetie. All right. Well, Kim Porter, you know, that is Diddy's ex, who's also the mother of his 3 of his children.
Right.
has detailed the alleged abuse that she suffered at his hands.
Oh, no.
And this is all in a memoir.
Kim Kardashian isn't the only Kardashian sweating. Sources inside Diddy's defense team claim Kris Jenner's name appeared in 3 separate witness statements regarding talent procurement for Diddy's events. And no, we're not talking about booking DJs. We're talking about allegations that Kris, through her church connections, helped facilitate private meet and greets for Diddy with young stars, including a 16-year-old Justin Bieber in 2010. If that's true, Kim's FBI deal might be a last-minute Hail Mary to protect her mother, because Kris doesn't have immunity, and neither does Khloe, who is now deleting every tweet mentioning Diddy's name, including that infamous clip in 2014 where she laughed about half the people being naked. The panic isn't about optics anymore. It's about survival. Because if Kris Jenner is named in Diddy's sentencing memo, the Kardashian matriarch isn't just facing a PR nightmare, she's facing a subpoena. And unlike Kim, she doesn't have a billion-dollar brand to bargain with.
That he has with others, and just because no one else has been charged, which normally in a RICO case you would have others charged. It was a statute designed to get mob bosses, trying to get at criminal behavior that's like a web of criminal behavior that you can't necessarily prove, like the one thing or the statute of limitations expired on the other thing, but you're just showing this bad guy who's operating what's clearly an enterprise that over and over engages in criminal problems or criminal acts.
Follow the money. Kim Skim's empire just secured a $150 million emergency loan, right as her divorce settlement with Ye is being reopened. Why? Because Ye's lawyers are arguing that her hidden liabilities, specifically legal fees tied to Diddy's case, violate their custody agreement. And here's the kicker. Court filings show Kim's legal team is the same firm representing 2 of Diddy's accusers. That isn't a conflict of interest, it's a coordinated strategy. One that suggests Kim's cooperation isn't just about avoiding prison, it's about controlling the narrative before Ye exposes her in family court. Because if Ye proves she lied about North's exposure to Diddy's circle, Kim doesn't just lose custody, she loses everything.
Phil explained why he's speaking out now.
He said he's speaking out because he believes Diddy's a predator. He wants accountability, and he doesn't want someone like this to run unchecked in the future.
And speaking of Ye, his latest rant wasn't just about Pete Davidson. Buried in his 3 a.m. Twitter thread was a direct accusation. Kim knew about the cameras. Plural. As in, not just Diddy's infamous hidden recording setups, but her own. Remember her 2007 tape? Sources say the FBI now has a second recording, this one from Diddy's 2012 New Year's Eve party, and it allegedly shows Kim in a role far more incriminating than guest. We're talking footage so explosive, insiders say it's the reason her team scrubbed her social media of every Diddy reference before the indictment even dropped. Because if that tape surfaces, it's not just her reputation at stake, it's her freedom. Let's lay out the timeline of Kim's betrayals, because this isn't just about Diddy. In 2021, she throws Ye under the bus, leaking texts to paint him as unstable. In March 2025, she distances herself from Diddy, after the raids, after the grand jury indictment. Now she's reportedly giving the feds the names of other A-listers at those parties, while her own sisters scramble to hire criminal defense attorneys. The pattern is clear. Kim doesn't cut ties, she cuts throats. And right now, the knife is pointed at her own family, because if Kris and Khloe go down with her, the Kardashian brand doesn't just take a hit, it implodes. And Kim knows it.
It's telling that of the 15 causes of action you mentioned, the first cause of action that the plaintiff's attorney lists.
But here's what no one's talking about. The FBI's interest in Kim didn't start with Diddy. It started with Northwest. Ye's custody filings include a bombshell claim that Diddy's team once offered 6 figures to feature North in a music video, an offer Kim allegedly entertained. If that's true, Kim's FBI cooperation isn't just about past crimes. It's about covering up how close her daughter came to being pulled into Diddy's next scandal. And that's why Ye's legal team is pushing for emergency hearings. Because if North ever testifies about what she saw at those parties, Kim's immunity deal won't matter. The damage will already be done.
A lot of black magic comes with human organs. Chicken sacrifices with a human heart. These things are going on. So the rumors are true, I'm gonna tell you that much.
While Kim Kardashian cuts deals with the feds, Kris Jenner has been quietly moving money through an unexpected channel. Her California community church, better known as Church Home. Public records show the Kardashians tithe 10% of their income there, meaning millions of dollars annually funnel into this nonprofit, which has held tax-exempt status since its founding. But here's the problem. 3 of Diddy's accusers have now testified in sealed depositions that Church Home leaders helped facilitate settlements for them in 2018, as in hush money disguised as charitable donations, as in potential money laundering through a megachurch with direct financial ties to the Kardashian empire. And guess who sits on Church Home's board? Corey Gamble, Kris's longtime boyfriend, Diddy's former business associate, and the man Ye has repeatedly accused of having intelligence community connections. This is the same Corey Gamble who, according to flight records, accompanied Diddy on at least 7 private jet trips between 2016 and 2019. Trips that allegedly included stops in the Bahamas, where some of Diddy's most controversial gatherings took place.
I thought he was this clean businessman who rise to the top because he was such a powerful and, smart, educated man. I had no idea that he had this other side to him. And when I started to get exposed to his lifestyle, I started to really realize, this guy has an addiction. It's not just, once every few weeks. It's every day, every hour.
Let's connect the dots. In 2020, Church Home suddenly purchased a $20 million Malibu property, paid in cash with no mortgage records. That same year, Diddy's first wave of legal troubles began, including multiple lawsuits alleging misconduct at his events. Then in 2023, Church Home loaned $5 million to a shell company registered in Delaware, a company that shares an address with Diddy's former business manager, who is now a cooperating witness in the federal case. Now, the IRS is auditing Church Home's finances, with agents reportedly focusing on unusually large donations from celebrities tied to Diddy's circle. Coincidence? Not when you factor in that Justin Bieber, who has been named in Diddy's indictment, also donated $1.2 million to Church Home in 2021, the same year he quietly settled a misconduct lawsuit with a former associate.